welcome participants to this crucial forum on transforming Malaysian education, a holistic approach to address critical concerns. Today, we have a diverse panel representing different facets of the education system who could bring a wealth of knowledge, insight, and experience to our discussion. Without further ado, let me introduce our esteemed panel. A dedicated and experienced teacher with a passion for shaping young minds, offering a first-hand perspective on the critical concerns within our education system, Mr. Chai.
Good evening, everyone. I'm so happy to be invited here today. Hope to gather a variety of ideas today to enhance myself for future teaching. Thank you.
Next, we have a scholar from higher education, shaping the future educators, Dr. Kathy.
Greetings, everyone. I'm Kathy, a university lecturer. Thank you for inviting me today.
We are also having Dr. Dina joining us. She is a lecturer at the Sultan Idris Education University of Malaysia, who is also an expert dedicated to nurturing and molding our next generation of teachers.
Thank you, Ms. Risha. I am honored to be invited today. I do hope to constructively contribute towards an impactful discussion.
Following that, introducing to you Ms. Wong, an expert in student well-being with a wealth of experience in understanding and addressing the psychological aspects of education.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for inviting me to this wonderful forum's discussion today.
Last but not least, we have Dr. Tamil joining us, a professor with a profound understanding of the intricacies within the education landscape.
Good day, everyone. I'm delighted to be part of this forum. It's an honor to engage in conversation aimed at enhancing education in Malaysia. Thank you for having me, and I'm eager to contribute to this meaningful dialogue.
My warm welcome to all our panels today. Together, we will delve into addressing the critical concerns of our education system. But first of all, let me ask you a question. Have you ever wondered about the educational landscape in Malaysia and how it might be influenced by its diverse population? Today, let's explore a critical aspect, ethnic disparities in education opportunities in Malaysia. This issue delves into the varying educational experiences among different ethnic groups in the country. Join me as we unravel the challenges and potential solutions surrounding this important topic. To effectively address this issue, it is important to know what are the root causes of the ethnic disparities in education opportunities in Malaysia. I believe that Dr. Tamil could enlighten us on this. Please do, Doctor.
Thank you, Ms. Risha, for initiating this crucial discussion. Indeed, ethnic disparities in education opportunities in Malaysia stem from historical structural factors deeply ingrained in the country's socio-political landscape. One significant contributor is the NEP, the New Academic Policy, introduced in 1970s, aimed at addressing economic inequalities, but inadvertently reinforcing preferential treatment for Bumiputras, the majority ethnic group. So this policy, along with language reforms emphasizing Bahasa Malaysia, created barrier for non-Bumiputra communities, affecting their access to quality education. So if you all know, there is a research conducted by Viswanathan Selvaratnam further elucidated these systematic inequalities. So in his finding, it highlights how the NEP preferential treatment led to a significant increase in Bumiputra enrollment in tertiary institutions, while non-Bumiputra students face heightened competition for limited university placements. So this unequal distribution of education resources perpetuated ethnic disparities, exacerbating tensions between different ethnic groups in Malaysian society. So in university access policies, to address Bumiputra demand for higher education, the government implemented policies such as converting English medium school to national schools and directing universities to use Bahasa Malaysia as the sole medium of instructions. So quotas were established to increase Bumiputra student enrollment. Then, we have to look into the development of science education. So policies were implemented to encourage Bumiputra students to pursue science and technology courses, including the establishment of residential science schools and junior science colleges. Then, let's look into the government intervention in university admission. This is very important because the government established central unit for university students selection to tightly control the admission process and ensure alignment with the NEP. This marked a departure from tradition of university autonomy in determining the admissions. Then the access to overseas higher education. Due to limitation in local universities, a significant number of non-Bumiputra students, particularly of Chinese origin, sought education overseas. So the NEP facilitated government-sponsored students studying abroad. Then, the implication, the preferential treatment of Bumiputra students led to intense competition for university placed among non-Bumiputras, resulting in higher entry requirement for the latter. This sparked concern about ethnic imbalances in university demography. Then let's talk about intra-Bumiputra distribution of education opportunity. So despite efforts to uplift the low socioeconomic groups, there was a class and urban bias in distribution of educational opportunities among Bumiputra. So policies intended to benefit the poor often favored the middle and professional classes. And when it comes to the higher education and employment, economic challenges, including a recession, led to decline in job opportunities for graduates. So Bumiputras were favored in public service jobs, contributing to ethnic tension. Then the cost of overseas education, coupled with decline in Malaysia's foreign exchange earning, raised concern. So the government aimed to reduce foreign exchange spending on education by increasing local university intake. I mean, they were just touching the historical part of this whole topic.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Tamil, for providing insight into the root cause of ethnic disparities in education opportunities in Malaysia, and also for highlighting the research findings by Vishwanathan Selvaratnam. So understanding these factors is actually crucial for devising effective solutions. Now, let's explore potential systematic changes to address these disparities. What are your recommendations, Dr. Tamil?
Okay, that's an excellent question. So I have a few key recommendations. The first one is about equitable policies. So we need to move toward inclusive policies that provide equal opportunities. Shifting from ethnicity-based preferences to a merit-based system would be a positive step. Next, the language policies. It is crucial to reassess language policies, finding a balance between promoting national identity and recognizing linguistic diversity is essential. So a flexible approach could be more inclusive. Then maybe in the university autonomy. So restoring autonomy to universities in admission is critical. So allowing institutions to set their criteria will promote a fair and meritocratic system. And the diversification of educational opportunities. So we should focus on diversifying opportunities, especially in science and technology. So bridging the urban-rural education gap and enhancing science education in rural areas will be beneficial. Yes, Ms. Gina, you have a question?
Firstly, thank you for highlighting the importance of addressing socio-economic disparities. But I just want to hear your thoughts on how do you envision implementing targeted support for the underprivileged communities? Are there specific programs or initiatives that you believe would be particularly effective in achieving these goals?
Thank you, Ms. Gina, for the question. So to address the socio-economic disparities, we need target support program focusing on underprivileged communities, regardless of ethnicity. So this involves community-based initiatives, investment in rural education infrastructure, financial assistance for students, and partnership between government and NGOs and private sectors. Together, we can create a more inclusive and equitable education system promoting social mobility and national development. I hope that answers your question. And the last recommendation from me is being very transparent in data collection, because we have been hearing about data collection for decades, but then it is not really very transparent. So establishing transparent data collection mechanism is a key. So regular assessment and adjustment of policies based on evidence will be vital for success. So these are all my recommendations. Thank you.
Thank you for the wonderful insight on the historical factors which largely contribute to the issue. I believe we can all vouch for the wonderful recommendations shared, right? So now our modern education adopts a unique structure which in ideal shows our national identity of a multiracial and multicultural country. However, some might say that this is where the issue might stem from. What do you think, Mr. Chai? Do you have personal experience regarding this issue?
Thank you, Ms. Risha. As a teacher in a Chinese independent school, I see multiculturalism and multiracial diversity as potential issues, though not entirely problematic. Our country offers a tailored education scheme for different ethnicities, such as SK for Malays, SJKC for Chinese, and SJKT for Indians. Most parents enroll their children in primary schools where their mother tongue is the main medium of instruction, providing targeted knowledge related to their ethnicity. Despite the emphasis of their own religion and language in school from different streams, they also supplement the curriculum with knowledge about other ethnicities. This approach prevents the educational system from causing a sense of ignorance or division among different ethnic groups. While the diverse education system is beneficial, I've observed that some students in my school have chosen Chinese independent school primarily is just to avoid Malay language education. This selective avoidance is concerning as proficiency in Malay is crucial for the SPM exam, which is a significant assessment for Malaysian nationals. Additionally, the different curricula amongst streams can lead to challenges in SPM performance. And the most significant concern for me is that since the Chinese Independent School main unified assessment is the UEC, many students choose to forego the SPM and focus on the UEC. This significantly impact their future academic path, causing many students to lose their eligibility for admission to national universities, as the UEC result currently do not meet the entry requirements. And these are the issue I've noticed in the context of diverse education streams. Thank you.
I do have to say the concern that Mr. Chai shared are valid, and it could be a detrimental to our students, particularly those who are affected by it. Not being eligible for further educations into the public university can pose a big challenge for these students, as the root cause for the problem, as shared by Mr. Chai, are actually avoidance of the Malay language and the shift focus to another examination. Perhaps the best way to remedy this is to provide support and guidance for the students, where while increasing the awareness within the student in the school of the importance of SPM. It might not be all or nothing, but certainly I find students react the best when they are supported and guided without judgment.
Thank you, Mr. Chai and Ms. Wong, for the wonderful sharing. It truly shed a light into a concern not commonly talked about in our society. Now, continuation after SPM would be tertiary education. So we are going to focus about that. As we all know, tertiary education plays a significant role in maintaining harmony between different ethnic groups in Malaysia. What role can higher education institutions play in addressing the ethnic disparities in our education? Can I have Ms. Katie to talk about this, please?
Sure, Ms. Risa. As a university lecturer, I firmly believe universities play a super important role in facing issues in the Malaysian education system. It's not just about teaching, we are all about making positive changes. First, we dig into serious research to determine what's going wrong in the education system. We find the problems and suggest intelligent solutions based on actual evidence. This helps change policies and make things better. We are also big on making teachers better at what they do. Working with both new and experienced teachers help us boost the quality of education. We spice things up by bringing in excellent teaching methods, using text, and ensuring students are at the core of everything. In the classroom, we are not just throwing facts at students. We want them to think critically, solve problems, and get those gravity juices moving. We aim to create graduates who know their stuff and can handle the challenges in Malaysia's education. We don't work alone, we team up with other fields like tech, psychology, and sociology. This teamwork helps us develop fast ideas to solve significant issues like unequal education, ensure everyone gets a shot at quality education, and use text the right way in learning. We are also cheerleader for education. We check with the big source and people involved in education to share our smarts and research. This way, we can help shape policies that make the education system better and fairer. So being a university lecturer is like being part of a superhero team for education in Malaysia. We research, train teachers, spy learning, team up with others, and cheer for better education policies.
I want to say that firstly, I do agree with Dr. Kathy. Higher education institutions do play a great role in addressing the issues of ethnic disparities by getting to the root cause and recommending solutions through academic studies. However, it is worth to note that throughout the years and numerous policy changes in the education system, the issue of ethnic disparities and the resulting education opportunity is still prevalent in tertiary education itself. I believe Dr. Tamil touched about this briefly. The existing quotas of admission based on ethnicity resulted in a recent data of 68% admission of Bumiputra and 22% of non-Bumiputras in our public universities. I believe that universities should play their role by ensuring admissions are made based on merits, on academic performance, socio-economic background first, before race and ethnicity. We should not be the place where best students of non-Bumiputra had to compete with the second best Bumiputra. Next, close monitoring of teacher training and professional development should be amped up so that our educators can provide the quality education to students, which would increase the interest and build trust of our citizens in public universities. As a teacher training institute, we have to ensure that our aspiring teachers are aware and have deep understanding of the issue. For myself at least, Sultan Idris University of Education is currently increasing the diversity of courses such as language specific courses offered to our aspiring teachers to further support the cause of reducing ethnic disparities in our institution.
Thanks for your valuable sharing. Now, we are moving on to the next part of our discussion today. As a multiracial country, cultural sensitivity and inclusivity in the curriculum have always been an issue debated in the education world. Though cultural sensitivity and inclusivity in the curriculum of Malaysia are influenced by various factors, Malaysia's diverse ethnic composition is one of the main causes of it. Dear lecturer, could you recommend one specific policy about this topic based on your expertise?
Can I have a go, Miss Risha?
So you are the one creating the superheroes, right?
I believe that I do have an opinion on that. To address the issue of cultural diversity and inclusivity in our curriculum, a simple remedy, such as multicultural celebration for different cultures, should be introduced in schools. A simple policy recommendation that I could think of would be the introduction of language or culture-specific student clubs, such as cultural and language clubs in school as part of their extracurricular activities. There, when you apply this, both teachers and students could actually learn to appreciate and respect the different cultures that exist in Malaysia.
Yes, I totally agree on that. Thanks for sharing. I guess we are all curious to know how this issue might impact students and how we can improve the current curriculum for students to be benefited. Miss Wong, would you like to share about this?
Thank you for asking me these questions. There do have a few impact that I could think about it. First is the academic engagement and the achievement. When the students see themselves and their culture background represent in the curriculum, they are more likely to feel engaged and motivated to learn. Culturally relevant content can make learning is more meaningful and more relatable, leading to increased academic achievements. Conversely, a lack of cultural representations may result in the engagement and lower academic performance among the students from marginalized and underrepresented group. Sorry. Another impact I could think of is the social and emotional well-being. Inclusive curriculum that celebrate the diversity and promote the culture understanding can contribute to a positive school climate where all the students feel valued and respected, which is very important. This in turn support the students' social and emotional well-being by fostering positive relationship, reducing the incidence of the discrimination and bias, and promoting the empathy and the mutual respect among the peer, of course with the teachers and among the students. Well, another one that I could think about the impact, which is what we just mentioned just now, the standardized testing such as SPM, which may also create the limitations on the definitions of success, as the student may only focus on their exam, which is also increasing their stress and anxiety for the student who feel pressure. It's also distract from the value on personal growth, creativity, and well-being, which is we believe that is one of the most important elements in this century. Besides that, it also lead to the peer pressure as the student will feel like very difficult to getting into their friend Zoom, which is lead to the depression and feeling low self-esteem when they feel alone, which is not part of their friend. Well, to improve all this, there are a few thoughts that I could think of, which is a community engagement and partnership. Collaborate with the family communication, communities, organizations, and culture institutions to enrich the curriculum, which is can bring up the authentic culture experience and resources. Inviting the guest speakers, organizing the field trip, and hosting a culture event can broaden the students, like just like Chinese New Year's, Hari Raya, perspective and deeper their understanding of the diverse culture according to the family and community involving in education and enhance the student academic success and also the cultural competence, which is I think most of the Malaysians will have the same feeling. Provide the support service such as a mental health support service in the school, which is very important as well, and to make sure the student always get their support when they need to, and when they need it, they know where or who they should find. Beside that, I also thinking about provide a flexible curriculum. We all know that study from the book is not enough anymore. Students should know well about themselves, develop their own interests, learning style, and their talents, which is help the student gain more motivation to study and, of course, the overall well-being as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for your valuable recommendation, Ms. Wong. Now let's shift our focus to Dr. Kathy. How can universities contribute to a more inclusive curriculum that reflects diverse perspectives and cultural narratives?
An inclusive curriculum is like a big, diverse quiz that recognizes everyone's different experiences. The goal isn't just to learn facts, it's to understand and care for each other. This helps break down wrong ideas, challenge unfair judgments, and prepare people to live in a world with many different cultures. Think of making a curriculum like planning a fun trip. Teachers and lecturers play a significant role in making sure students get what they are learning. By bringing in lots of different voices and ideas, we help students understand things better. We can add a diversity sections to our learning plan, missing story from authors of diverse backgrounds in literature class, and looking at events from different angles in history class. This way, students see and learn about many other ideas. Our university teachers are like guides on this trip. It's not just about having different looking teachers, it's about having role models who have been through different things and can share excellent perspectives. Another important thing is thinking for ourselves. University encourage students to think about their learning, question things, and not just accept everything. We want students to know that things are complicated and there's often no one right answer. To ensure everyone feels welcome and heard, we organize events like talks and activities where students can share their stories, question things, and learn from each other. Technology is like our helpful friend on this journey. We can use different teaching methods with online tools and virtual classroom. This makes things more exciting and easier to understand. Finally, when we check how well students are doing, we want to be fair. We don't want to favor one way of thinking over another. We use many ways to see if students understand, like projects, presentations, and working together. So, making a more inclusive curriculum is like planning an exciting trip. It's not just about following rules, it's about getting ready to live in a world where everyone is slightly different.
Thank you, Dr. Kathy. Now we are zooming into teacher training and professional development. I recently came across a legal case about a student who filed a lawsuit against the Selangor State Education Department and a teacher for negligence and incompetence. The student alleged that the teacher failed to provide adequate instruction and support, resulting in poor academic performance and subsequent failure in an important examination. The case highlighted the detrimental effects of teacher incompetence on students' academic achievement. Due to the teacher's inability to effectively teach the subject matter and provide necessary guidance to students, the student experienced difficulties in understanding the material and ultimately failed the examination. This failure had significant consequence for the student's academic progress and also future opportunities. This case underscored the importance of holding educators accountable for their performance and ensuring that they possess the necessary skills and qualification to effectively support students' learning. Teacher incompetence not only undermines students' academic achievement, but also violates their right to quality education. Mr. Chai, my next question is for you. What challenges have you faced in teaching in this current era of modern education? And what kind of training and development are crucial for the current and future teachers to successfully educate students?
Thank you, Ms. Risha. For me, the biggest challenge in teaching is the lack of students' desire for learning. The main issue is that there are numerous ways to acquire knowledge, especially with the prevalence of ChatGPT. Additionally, a significant problem in education today is that students easily to get distracted by other things, including social media and they're interacting with their friends or getting addicted to games. These issues arise mainly due to the widespread use of the internet, as almost every student had a smartphone or even a computer at home. So I believe that teaching is no longer just about imparting knowledge to students. As mentioned earlier, they can easily find answers on YouTube or ChatGPT. What we can offer is to teach them how to apply the knowledge. Therefore, in teaching method, encouraging students to engage in more case discussion or research on phenomenon helps strengthen their application of the knowledge and critical thinking skills. For this reason, Teachers need training in curriculum design, including the well-known methods like flipped classroom or inquiry-based learning. The teacher's primary role is to assist students on how to solve problems when they encounter difficulties. Furthermore, as the minister is try to promoting the higher order thinking skills, many teachers, despite having years of teaching experience, but they lack of how to stimulate higher order thinking skill in students. Therefore, teachers should also receive training on how to promote higher order thinking in students. In addition, with the development of the internet and the influence of family education, there has been a significant increase in the number of students with mental stress or even mental illness in recent years. I have experienced a heartbreaking example where a student expressed her suicidal thought earlier on, but due to a lack of experience, the teacher comforted the students in a formal manner. Didn't realize that the students might truly have a problem. So the student eventually passed away, leaving me deeply saddened. In many cases, teachers often need to be the first responders in handling various psychological conditions. Therefore, I believe that teachers need regular training in psychological knowledge and emotional management to be able to respond to emergencies. Similarly, teachers should undergo regular emotional release to avoid the accumulation of negative emotions and maintain mental well-being for themselves also. And that's all for my perspective. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chai. Thanks for sharing the incident with us. It's actually very sad that such thing has happened to a student. Okay, now shifting our focus to Dr. Dina. In your opinion, what are the key competencies that future teachers should promote inclusivity and sensitivity in their classrooms? Do our current teacher training programs effectively address these issues?
Thank you, Ms. Risha, for the question. I just want to say I believe that I share the same sentiment as Mr. Chai, where as a teacher, our role is more than just teaching our lesson content, but also being the key to development of a better society through our students. Our future teachers should understand that a classroom is a society of its own with diverse beliefs and norms. Teachers should be able to foster inclusivity and acceptance in their classroom. To be able to do that, our future teachers should be culturally competent. They should have understanding of the different beliefs, cultures, and identities of their students. Let's not forget about the case of Indira Gandhi Moto versus the Islamic Department of Perak. One of the key issues in this case was the children religious education and upbringing, which included Islamic studies curriculum they were exposed to after their conversion. This case clearly speak volume on the significance of ensuring that school curriculum is inclusive and sensitive to students' cultural and religious background. Now, when educational materials and practices fail to recognize and respect students' diversity, it can impact their academic engagement and achievement as well as their overall educational experience. Teachers should be the advocate and allies in the cause of cultural inclusivity in classrooms. A teacher should model good advocacy by standing up against discrimination or unjust treatment towards marginalized communities in schools. And yes, our teacher training programs are in constant effort in addressing these issues. We have numerous workshops and seminars being offered to our teacher in training as well as existing teachers to help them understand and navigate a diverse classroom. Now, for example, this is what I think Mr. Chais is trying to put forward. In our Teacher Training Institute, we have seminars on psychology of education. It goes in depth of how diversity and differences affect both students and teacher performance in class and how it can be mitigated through a well-thought intervention and prevention strategies. My opinion is if another student, as with the case Mr. Chai shared, can be helped, we should definitely go for it.
Thank you, Dr. Rina. I just want to add something because I love the way you mentioned here, like a sensitivity towards the unique challenges faced by, marginalized communities is essential in crafting the effective solution. So we must actively listen to the voice of those who have been historically disadvantaged and ensure that their needs are addressed and comprehensively. That's very important. So through empathic understanding and collaborative action, we can build a more equitable education system that leaves no student student behind. And then, as you actually recalled, what we have done in our teaching training courses, because the psychology of education is often forgotten, that we have learned all this, but it's not really being applied. So I just want to add on this, and sorry for the interruption. Thank you.
Yeah, I do agree with Dr. Dina have just mentioned, especially effect on the incompetent teachers in the student development. It could be huge, like academic achievement. Incomplete teachings can be like hidden the student academic progress and achievements. Which is actually can lead to the gap in the knowledge, misunderstanding of the concept, lower academic performance among the student. Not only that, it actually you will not able to see the student growing. As the student may not reach their full potential academically when the teacher are not able to do that, and personally they are not being challenging and not supporting by appropriate by their teachers. Another side that we can see is the limited of the opportunity. Without effective guidance from us teachers, student may miss out opportunity for enrichment, advanced learning, like what Mr. Chai have mentioned. Especially nowadays, our government is looking for higher learning methods. So it actually also will impact on their future success. The foundation of the knowledge and the skill laid in the school is crucial for the future academic and the professional success. So incomplete teachings can be impact this foundation effect student prospect later in their life as well. So therefore, I think the school would really need to involve a lot of different techniques and also a lot of different school activities to make sure that not only the teachers should be involved in this. I personally think that parents and guardians should be involving as well to aware on their children's behavior and mental health, especially dealing with the academic stress. Beside that, offering a relaxing technique to the student who help them to manage their stress which is also one of the most important point that I think everyone should looking at it. Especially nowadays, I think improve their emotion control skill is also one of the very important, not only for the student and also for the teacher as well. Provide a balanced approach on academic could be another levels that we could achieve for their personal development, their creative, their well-being alongside academic achievement is also important as well. Yeah, so thank you. Lastly, but not least, create a nurturing and supporting school environment definitely is not only the effort from the teachers, it's also the effort from the school and the management to make our students who feel the respected and safe, such as implemented anti-bullying policy, provide the counseling service like offering individual counseling, group therapy, section like talk, like workshop, is also actually helping our young generation to more safely to go through their whole academic years. That's what my thought of. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wong. My sincere appreciation to all our panelists today for your thoughtful sharings. The depth of ideas and recommendations shared today has been truly remarkable. Your expertise added depth to our conversation, and I believe that it has been a fruitful session for all of us here. As we draw near the conclusion of this enriching forum, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our panelists. In conclusion, this forum discussion on addressing critical concerns in Malaysian education has provided valuable insights into the multifaceted challenges faced by the education system. So panelists were engaged in thoughtful deliberations highlighting issues such as ethnic disparities, cultural sensitivity, and incompetence of teachers. This discourse has not only identified problems, but importantly has also paved the way for constructive dialogue aimed at fostering positive change. It is imperative that these discussions translate into actionable strategies, ensuring a more inclusive, dynamic, and effective educational landscape for the benefit of future generations in Malaysia. Thank you.